Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm going to be having a look at Runescape Trillionaires. Do they exist? And if so, who are they? A lot of people had opinions of who actually was the richest person in Runescape. However, a lot of the information is a little sketchy, not quite believable. So we're going to have to go have a look at all of them and see if they were lying or not pretty well. Now I have three people here who were definitely very wealthy. However, they are claiming that they had over $1 trillion each of them. And there is images to back it up. Even one of them has a JMod confirming it. However, is it believable? I don't know. Now before I get started, I'm not doubting the fact that there are Runescape Trillionaires in existence. However, I feel like if I was a trillionaire, I wouldn't tell fucking anyone. So I do think there are trillionaires out there, but they're probably keeping a low profile, because that's what I would do, and that makes the most sense. Alright guys, hope you enjoy, and let's get started. So to start off here, one of the most infamous people to claim that they are a trillionaire is Moltrinex, or Brandon Fisher. So he's well known for being a trillionaire, but he's also well known for beating up his parents with an aluminum baseball bat and going to jail. So if we assume all of these images aren't photoshopped or anything, there is proof that is showing that actually his total net worth was over 9 trillion. So not even just breaking the cusp of a trillionaire, he was in theory the richest person pretty much to exist in RuneScape. So the real question is, do you believe this? I mean, he's probably a compulsive liar, beat up his family and went to jail, so he's not really the most believable person. A lot of people seem to believe that Moltrinex found a way to abuse the wealth evaluator function. So the screenshot with all of his accounts and the wealth evaluator on all of them is just incorrect. It's not to say he wasn't one of the wealthiest persons in the game, because you can only really fudge these things so much. However, these particular numbers may not be 100% accurate. Now next up is Twiight Ashe, who apparently had over 2 trillion RuneScape gold. He made his first bills from merching and was definitely one of the wealthier people in RuneScape, but he was most famous for having a stack of over 1.6 mil furies. At the time of this picture here, the furies were probably worth about 1.5 mil each, or somewhere around that, leading him to have around 2.2 to 2.5 trillion GP. And the kicker here is that there was even a JMod that verified this picture and said it was 100% true. So it sounds good and dandy, and it seems like he may have actually been a trillionaire. However, later it was proven that the JMod actually got reprimanded and the post was deleted. A lot of this is kind of hearsay. You have to take all of this information with a bit of a grain of salt. And that is kind of why when I originally made the video on who's the richest person in RuneScape, I went with Chessie, just because she had a lot more documentation of the items that she had. It seemed a lot harder to fake everything that she had. Whereas these guys, really there's not a lot of proof for any of it. Today those furies would be worth about 3.3 trillion, just in case you were wondering. However, unfortunately, may not have actually been true. And the last up here is Milky. Now, they were originally a dicer and a staker, and he was said by their clanmates to have about 1.5 trillion GP. Now, there is this image here that's kind of gets circulated around pretty frequently of tons of party hats, Christmas crackers, the half jugs of wine, which are, if you don't know, is actually rare in RuneScape. Now this image here was only really said to be part of his bank, so there's not really any confirmation for the rest of it. So it's hard to prove if this was actually true. That being said, Milky was one of the richest people in RuneScape and was more confirmed to have around half a trillion. Alright guys, so that is the 3 claimed trillionaires that I could find. Really, it seems like almost all of them have been disproven. Moltrinex went to jail, compulsive liar, possibly just abused the wealth calculator. However, on paper it seems like he had 9 trillion GP. Twiight Ashe seemed to be legit with his stack of 1.6 mil furies, however seemed to be later disproven because the JMod in question may not have been telling the truth. In theory, Twiight Ashe could have had around 2 trillion RSGP. And last up, Milky, really not a lot of information on it, just kind of hearsay, said to have about 1.5 trillion. So in the end, I'm not sure how believable any of this is. I think maybe together between the 3 of them, maybe they had 1 trillion, I don't know. But I think a lot of it was just false information. Digging to see if any of these trillionaires were actually legit was actually pretty fun. If you're interested, I could go over some of the more publicized wealthy players. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to leave it a like, and I will see you in the next one.